Hurricane Raphael is just starting to sneak by us here in the Keys. He's going to be far enough in the Gulf that it won't be a big concern, but we're going to have about 40-mile-an-hour winds, and we're pretty much getting that right now. So I thought I'd kind of walk you through what I did to get prepped for this. And like I said, it's not a huge concern, but still we're going to be rocking a bit, and you want to get ready for it. So I'll show you what I do. So I'd be showing you in the daytime, but I just got off work, and so it's dark. I had usually my dinghy ride's about 15 minutes to get back, but with the wind, the waves, it took me 45 minutes to get from shore to here. And so we're in the dark now, but I'll give you the tour of what we got going on. I've got here in the cockpit anything loose that's up on deck. These guys are getting almost empty, so I put them down here. Life jacket, cushions, these are all my wet clothes. I've got these guys are full, so they'll be fine. What I did for the dinghy, that's a little different. Usually he's a lot further back, but I tied a Y, and I also tied a spare line, so that kind of helps the dinghy from flying side to side a lot. Next, since my solar panels are on a bimini frame instead of a proper solar rack, I have this extra line here tied off to give it a lot more stable. And you can see the panels aren't wiggling at all. The line is a little bit, but those will be a-okay. I doubt you could hear much of that, but pretty much to summarize it, anything light and loose up on deck, you're going to want to tie it down. Sails are wrapped up with extra dock lines. Solar panels are tied down extra. Put a little extra out on the snubber. Lots of extras. But it's going to be a long night. We're going to be bouncing a bit here at the anchorage, but we have went through worse with this, so I feel very confident. I'm going to make some sleepy time tea, probably sleep through the night, and we'll set the anchor alarm too just in case. But it'll be fun. One of the many perks of living on a boat, you always get the full advantage, you get the full experience of a storm. We made it through Raphael. Boat and I are still above the water. It was not too bad, kind of like Milton was last time, just windy, lots of rain. But I've been getting a lot of mail. I want to show you some things that I've been buying in preparation for next year. So, to start off, got my Bahamas courtesy flag, quarantine flag, then my Explorer chart books and the Exuma's guide. Lots of good information in those. Some lights for the dinghy at the front, the bow lights, and then this is going to be a stern light go on the transom. These are super cool. I'm very excited to have these, and that'll make the dinghy a lot more usable. And then also, big thank you to Mike Giberson, one of my Patreon subscribers. He sent me this 1-week emergency food supply, which is super cool. It's got, I think, 12 different packets in here of like dried foods. And so in a pinch or in an emergency, hopefully we never have to use it, but that is really great to have. So big thank you to Mike, appreciate that. And then I've also got a bunch of mail on shore. Maybe not a bunch, but a couple more packages. And so we are gonna head that way for work, and then before or afterwards, we'll take a look at it, show you what we got. Made it here to shore, and the package you've most been looking forward to is, so Mantis, I talked with them, and they hooked me up with a discount. Got the 45-pound, the M1 galvanized, and so this should be a whole lot stronger and better than the 33-pound Bruce I've been using. So we will get her unboxed here and then toss her in the dinghy, take her back to the boat. It is the end of the day after work, and I'm going to try to get this anchor back. I think you can tell it's getting dark, and this is a lot of weight. These guys are empty. It's going to be a full boat. Next clip will probably be me regretting it because it'll be dark because of how long it's going to take to get back. But I really want to put this anchor together. So, sorry, future Damon. When I said earlier you'd see me again soon, I didn't think it'd be this quick. We are here, anchored out on the dinghy. The outboard has quit yet again, and I've been tinkering with it for the past 10 or 20 minutes. Can't get her to start up. Can't even get it to make any good sounds. So we are luckily, well, luckily, not luckily, very close to the where I take off from shore. So I'm gonna paddle back that way, and hopefully I can get her working again before tomorrow morning. If not, then I guess we'll see. You guys will see here soon, but I won't know for a while. Wish me luck. It's the next day. Sun's out again. We are still here. I just had to sleep here on shore. That was a bunch of fun. These videos are starting to just be the same thing over and over again. So I'm gonna try to use convince a friend to run me out to my boat and get some parts and tools, and then maybe after work this afternoon try to rip into it again and see what's going on. I don't know, man. Just got off work here, and luckily I got off a little early today, but this is the setup. I'm gonna try to dismantle. I brought one of the tiny water impellers for this guy, which I believe is down here, so we're gonna try to replace that. Also received a new shift lever. As you can see, this is the one I have since I bought it, and then a new carburetor as well. I'm kind of shooting again just to see, but hopefully as we're doing this we'll stumble across what's been our problem. So this first step, I'm gonna be trying to drain the oil out of the bottom gear case here so we can get this taken off, and yeah, back at it. So I have got the carburetor swapped out to a new one, put a new impeller in, drained the gear oil, and then also tossed in a new shifting lever because that one had broken off. And I think everything's assembled back the correct way. I forgot to grab my gear oil whenever I was on the boat, so there's a Napa just a couple miles away. I'm going to grab the bike and head that way and try to get there before they close. And then hopefully once we put that in there, we'll start her up and see if she works. I doubt it with my luck lately, but we can only be hopeful, I guess. So miraculously somehow started up on the first pull after like pretty much taking it piece by piece apart. So I'm gonna let it idle here for a couple minutes while I clean everything up, and then I guess we're gonna try to go see how far we make it tonight. If not, it'll be another night of camping out, and I'm not ready for that, so wish me luck. So you can tell we are back on the boat. At this point though, you could argue I've spent so much money and time on this outboard, instead of buying a cheap secondhand used one, I could have been better off buying a brand new one. But the other way to look at it is I have now seen just about every part of this engine and tinkered with it, replaced lots of parts. So I've learned a lot too, you know. There's a side to every story here. I personally, knowing what I know now, probably would stick with what I've done, just because I think all the heartache, the pain that it's been with this thing, I think I've learned a lot. I'd like to say I have. We'll see if it keeps working, and I think that's worth the struggle, especially if I'm going to try to go out further. You kind of need to know how to fix these things and know how it works. So we will see how it goes. I'll keep you updated on how it works, but hopefully this is the last time we'll be watching me do lots of engine projects for a while. I thought I was going to be signing off on that last clip. In the excitement, I forgot I actually had that new anchor that came in. So this morning on the way to work, I talked him into bringing the boat by and dropped the anchor off. Saved me from bringing it on the dinghy. But big thank you to Mantis. They actually gave me about a half-off discount off this anchor. And so pretty cool. I'm going to show you what it is. It's the 45-pound M1. And so we're going to get it assembled and based on the measurements off the website, should fit the bow roller, but we are about to find out if I measured right. So here we go. So I wanted to show a little size comparison of, this is the anchor that came with the boat when I bought it, and so I had assumed this was a proper size anchor for anchoring. But obviously, if you've been around watching for a while, I've had some issues where I've drug in the past using this, and so I figured it was time to upgrade to a proper anchor. And from all my research online, Mantis seemed to be the anchor that people are leaning towards these days. This is the new design. And from my understanding, the basics of an anchor is not necessarily how much it weighs, but how much it can hold onto the bottom. And so with this design, you can see this is the surface area that's scooping down into the mud, and that's how much surface area of mud it can hold, which all of our boats pushing against. And this has at least 3 times as much surface area, I'd say, that is digging down deep, and it also weighs an extra 10 pounds. The sheer weight is adding on to, and then the extra area that it can dig down deep into the mud and use all that weight of the mud to hold us in place. Another thing is, this one would foul often when we rotated. It would get the chain wrapped up around and it would like lean backwards. This has the roll bar, which is supposed to, whenever you flip, if you were to pull directly backwards, it would help your anchor roll and reset. So I haven't actually tried it yet. These are kind of all the fun facts about it from the internet, but hopefully here before long we'll get it hooked up on the anchor road and we'll actually go out and give it a test one night. It's getting dark here, probably windy too, but this is the fit on the bow roller here. Yeah, you can just barely see it. The roll bar gets within an inch or two of the pulpit here, and then there's about 3 or 4 inches gap between the tip and the front of the boat. And so the only problem is I'm gonna have to find a way to secure it to the pulpit. Back over here, shoreside, and I've got the new dinghy light. This is for the bow, and then this is the mount for it. So we're gonna clean off the rubber up there, mark out a place to put it, sand it down, and then try to super glue it on, and hopefully that'll be strong enough. So I'm gonna leave the mount to dry for a couple hours, and in the meantime I'm gonna take my laundry, run down to Key West again and get that knocked out, maybe run a few errands. If you can't tell, these videos are pretty repetitive, but this is just what it looks like here. This is what my weeks look like getting ready. So lots of dinghy work, running errands on shore, fixing the engine. It's just how it goes. Made it to Marathon, got my laundry done. Got to meet up with a friend too from Missouri who was visiting. Had some dinner. We've made it back. Gonna test out the dinghy lights. You can see I've got them mounted. This is super cool. I'm very excited to have these. I got the bolts, but I gotta mount the last one to the transom, the white light. So I gotta drill on the boat. So maybe tomorrow we can drill the holes and get that. But at least got the bow lights. So we'll get out there, give them a test, and they're real bright out here. dark. At least people can see me. But it's nice, the water's finally calmed down a bit, so we're playing in well, making good time. It was a good day. Quite the adventure too, going back at night. It's so dark out here. We've made it back to the boat. So that is going to wrap it up for this week's video. Appreciate you guys for watching, tagging along with all the shenanigans going on around here. I think that the issue with the outboard was probably with the carburetor related. It looks very clean, so it didn't seem like it was like super gunky, but I'm thinking something maybe with that float system that I talked about last time was broken, because ever since I put the new carb in, she's been running great, faster than usual, a lot more responsive. And it could have been various other things I replaced, so I can't say that for certain. It's kind of where my hunch is leading me, my inexperienced hunch. But anyways, glad that thing's running again. Hopefully in the next video we will be back to normal stuff, not fixing engines. And thanks to all my Patreon subscribers for helping out this adventure. I've been trying to thank them back in a way by writing their names on the back of my boat, kind of bring you guys along for the adventure as well. So if you'd like to support my sailing adventure to the Bahamas next year, then feel free to take a look at that Patreon link in my description. And appreciate all you guys for watching again. And we will be back next week for another video. And hopefully one of these days we can be back sailing again, not just fixing, but that's just part of the life out here. So thanks for watching. Bye.